Now, I'm also at an interesting place in my life because I'm 22 years old, right? But I never went to college. Now, not going to college definitely impacted my social life in my later teen years, in my early 20s, because a lot of the social infrastructure that would have been there for me if I had went was not there because I skipped that step and went straight to being an adult living alone in Los Angeles with no social infrastructure. Well, there is a social infrastructure, but it's much more complicated. When you're in college, you sort of have this built-in social infrastructure. You have kids that you see in your class. You have parties that are on campus or in the dorms or in the, I don't know, I didn't go. I don't know what happens at college, but there's frat parties. There's college towns where everyone hangs out. There's so many opportunities for friendship and nightlife and all of these things. And I just didn't have access to that. Like it went straight to adult mode for me at 17. And a lot of the social activities in Los Angeles weren't laid out for me. Like I didn't know anyone throwing fun parties. And that was kind of my only opportunity for nightlife. You have to be 21 to go into a bar or club legally. So that whole situation's complicated and not appealing because it involves breaking the law to get in. So not my idea of fun. And when it came to making friends, it's just much more difficult because I worked from home alone every day. I didn't even know where to meet people other than my peers that were in the same industry as me. So not going to college definitely made my later teen, early adult social life complicated to begin with. I think that my sort of situation in life, my circumstances in life have made being social for me a little bit more challenging in the sense that it's not right in front of me, like when you're in college. You have to take extra steps in order to be social in the sort of adult world, if you will. And that makes it harder in general, right? It makes it more time consuming. It makes it more troublesome overall. When I was a teenager living in LA, that was really disappointing for me. And I think that's maybe what created the codependency in a lot of my friendships and relationships, because I feared that I maybe wouldn't be able to find anyone else because it was so challenging in LA. But then when I was going through my phase of independence, it was really easy because not being in college made it easy to sort of step back from my social life, because it's not like I have to see my friends every day in class or walk past parties every night on the way back to my dorm. It was easy to sort of step back and take my time for myself with no distractions. But all of that to say, I've sort of been building up my social life from scratch because I never really had a super bustling social life anyway. I never really had a huge group of friends. I never really had endless invites to parties. Prior to my period of alone time, I was not really very social either. I was more than I was during my alone time, but it was like it wasn't bustling. You know what I mean? It wasn't super fulfilling and exciting. It was almost sort of desperate in a way. Like my social choices were more desperate for social interaction. They weren't based on compatibility with others, shared interests with others, genuine, healthy connection. So now we're rebuilding.